Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and I want to invite you to my first ever public book signing. I'll be doing a special reading, question and answer session, and a signing of my new book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness on Thursday, March 20th at Visible Voice Books, located at 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I'll have a limited supply of Little Victories on hand to sign. I'll be reading selections from Little Victories, as well as telling stories and reading some material that was left out of Little Victories. I'll end with a Q&A session that will be a no-holds-barred affair. The signing will be from 7 to 9 p.m. at Visible Voice Books, 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. Come out, have some fun, and be a part of a rare appearance from me, Chris Aiken. It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That, of course, one of my favorite bands, as anybody that listens to the show knows. That's brand new stuff from Primal Fear, from Delivering the Black, and the guy that's always delivering the black, it's the one, the only Ralf Sheepers. Ralf, how are you, man?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you doing over there, Chris?
Excellent, Ralf. Well, Ralf, I have to say, this album, the brand new Delivering the Black, might very well be my favorite of all of the Primal Fear records. This thing is such an ass kicker.
Thank you so much. I think the very same thing.
Excellent. Well, Ralf, I did want to start with this one because this one feels almost like a throwback to the first 2 or 3 records. It felt in the last couple of records that you've done like maybe you guys were experimenting a little or, maybe growing to update the sound a little bit. But for this one, it really feels like you went back to your roots and made just a straight up, power metal record. Were you guys trying to go back into the early direction?
Yes, that was our target, to somehow go to the kickoff for the first album and also to the era of Nuclear Fire a little bit more again, and have again those trashy riffs again, like on, for instance, Rebel Faction you hear on the album. So it was pretty much our intention to get a little bit more of aggressivity again.
Sure. Now, when you do that, I mean, because you guys have been writing in a different way for, years and years now, was it difficult to go back and find that groove and kind of move away from the writing groove that you guys have been in for the last 3-4 albums?
No, it's not difficult. I mean, we have a writing team of four heads with Matt, Magnus, Alex, and me. So, and we got to know each other over the years, not only playing live together, also in terms of composing together. I mean, nowadays, we're not located at the same city. And as you know, many bands and people work like this over the internet nowadays in terms of swapping files and so forth. And Matt and Magnus really sat together on Skype and composed songs together. And then they sent some stuff to me, and I found my ideas. Because if you have great playbacks, it's just so easy for me to find melodies and lyrics. If the sound is just amazing already, which gives you goosebumps up and down your spine already on the demo phase. And it was just so easy this time to find ideas. Then Matt came to my house and we teamed up and made the lyrics and melodies together. And Matt had ideas on his own for so many songs. So it was just very easy to work this time again with 4 great writers. And I think this is the chemistry and the formula behind it now.
Sure. Now, most of the record is definitely, in your face. I mean, King for a Day, Rebel Faction, Delivering the Black, these are all power songs. But the first single, while it's powerful, it's also mid-tempo, which was almost a little bit surprising with When Death Comes Knocking. What made you guys decide to not so much do a song like that, but use a song that's almost not representative of the album as the first single?
We thought about this groovy bass rhythm sound, and also the groovy sound that this track has. We thought about a live club where people just playing the air guitar and bang their heads to this song. And that was the reason, and that's such a great, strong melody in it. We thought this is just a sticker, like you say, not somehow showing what else is on the album, just it sticks out a little bit more, and we thought this is just a great thing to do as a video and as a single.
Sure, definitely. Now, Ralf, both you and Matt in the last couple of years have had some outside projects. Not that Matt's is new at all with doing Sinner and doing some new stuff with Sinner, but you also chose to do a solo record that was pretty, I don't know, pretty surprising in a lot of ways. Probably surprised a lot of people, just because it was not like Primal Fear, as heavy as that. What made you decide to do that solo record?
Exactly that reason, because I've collected many ideas over the years. Because I'm an acoustic player here at home, and I find my melodies on an acoustic guitar. There was many songs I had which would have never made it on a Primal Fear album because of somehow missing the metal effect behind it, the metal thing behind it. So that's the reason why I spoke to Matt several years ago and asked him, I might do a solo album, so maybe you can help me a little bit. And then we spoke with the record company, and they were happy about it. And that's how it happened in the end. It was just basically collecting my ideas, which didn't fit to Primal Fear, which gave me the idea to bring out a solo album. Of course, there are also tracks on it, because as Ralf Sheepers, you have to deliver some heavy metal. So
sure,
there are some songs on the album as well, which could be easily on a Primal Fear album. So if you talk about Remission of Sin, where I sing together with Tim, this could be easily also on a Primal Fear album as well.
Sure, definitely. Now, on the new Primal Fear record, one of the things that was a little bit surprising to me was that you brought in Liv Christine to work on Born with a Broken Heart. What made you decide to do that vocal, tandem, more or less?
It was Matt's idea. He was listening to the demo, and he's jogging a lot. So he's taking his MP3 iPod and is walking and jogging with that and in his ear. And he thought, maybe on the chorus we could use a female voice. And that's what we did in the end. And I thought the idea was great. So, and we didn't want it somehow another duet, because
sure.
we did this already on New Religion. And we thought this time no duet, just maybe a color in the chorus. And that's what happened in the end. She's not standing out so much. A little bit like, having a good color and add up harmony in the chorus. There's going to be a deluxe version and with bonus tracks where we also mix her a little bit up in the mix and do some more vocals. She recorded more vocals and did some harmonies here and there. But for the CD, for the major CD version, we just wanted to use the color. And she did a great job. I mean, it's just sounding amazing.
Sure. Now, one of the songs on the record that really stands out to me, it's probably my favorite on the record, because it's such an epic, big, just such a big song, is One Night in December. What was going on with the writing of that one? Because it seems like that one might be just a little bit more orchestrated than some of your other work.
Yeah, there was somehow the epical background again, as we've always been in the last album somehow trying out symphony orchestras here and there, and never did it like, we never had the budget to do it like Nightwish, for instance, having a real orchestra. But the sounds are getting better and better these days with the sample thing, and Magnus is really is a perfectionist. He's really doing a lot with these sample sounds and experimenting a lot with it. So Matt came up to me. They composed the song, Magnus and Matt, and then Matt came up to my house. That I mentioned that before, that he came to my house and we did some lyrics and some melodies here for this song together. And like you say, it's also an outstanding song. Sure.
Now, this lineup that you have of Primal Fear now is probably the longest standing, I think, that you guys have had, at like about 5 years, because it always just seemed like there's always somebody that's come and gone here and there with the lineup. Do you feel like this is the strongest lineup that you've had, basically since the beginning of Primal Fear?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, people change, feelings change, there's personal backgrounds and so forth. It's just, sometimes you just find out that you don't get along with each other anymore, and then you just change. And right now we have a perfect chemistry going on, and we're pretty sad about that Magnus can't join us on tour because his family background. But we totally respect that, because everybody whose parent knows how it is to leave children at home. And he has 3 kids, and his wife is going to a regular job, so he can't do going out there for so many months like we're doing this year. Mm-hmm. And we totally accept this. And that's the reason why we thought, what can we do? I mean, we don't want to have a new face again, bringing up another confusion to Primal Fear. And we were talking to Tom, as we had a good connection again in the last 2 years. And he's still a very loyal dude and just amazing guitar player.
Sure.
So that's the reason why we brought him back for the live things, for the live playing. Okay. It's a good choice.
Sure. And will he? Does he potentially have a place in the next record, or not at all?
That's not in our talkings at the moment. We're just thinking about the huge touring this year, and he will hop in there. And he's aware of this. We spoke about it, and Magnus is always a member of Primal Fear.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to talk about the future, and I don't want to think about any picture what is going on. Having a 3-piece guitar, Primal Fear might be a little bit too much power. We'll see what's happening.
Sure. Definitely. Well, you mentioned the touring, so let's talk about that a little bit. What does 2014 have in store?
First of all, we're going to head out to Europe, and next week we launch in Hamburg.
Okay.
And then we do 3 weeks all over Europe, like a lot of Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Italy, Belgium, Poland, Slovakia, and Slovenia, and the Czech Republic, sorry. And then we have a small break of 3 weeks, and then we're going to be on the Rock Meets Classic event, okay, which is another thing what Matt is producing since years now. He brings the huge stars from the 80s to big arenas with an orchestra from Czech Republic.
Okay.
And this is just amazing how it sounds, and it's a dream come true, you know, for me to stand on the same stage like Ian Gillan, for instance. This time there's going to be Alice Cooper joining in, and many others, great big names from the scene. And 4 members of Primal Fear will take part in that for 4 weeks, and this will stop at the beginning of April, and then we have again a small break. And at the end of April, Primal Fear will head to the United States again, which is always great. Excellent. And looking forward for that one again. Then there's going to be a lot of summer festivals. There's going to be South America in late summer. And there's going to be Australia for the first time at early autumn time, and then we're going back to Japan. So it's going to be a huge year, and everybody's looking forward to bring our music to the people.
Excellent. Well, Ralf, one more question, not so much about Primal Fear, but just more about the business as a whole. You know, no secret that the business has changed dramatically, you know, in the last 10 years. And one of the things that is big right now are these sites like a Spotify or or the like, where they offer the music where nobody has to buy it anymore. Is there any way that is good for bands? I mean, is that good for a band like Primal Fear, or does that hurt a band like Primal Fear? And what?
Yes,
it hurts.
I mean, there's always 2 sides of it, okay. Chris. You know, it's always, you can somehow make good advertising and stuff. You can really be very, very bring out good informations in the fast internet world nowadays. Mm-hmm. And you can somehow, like I said, advertise your own songs here and there. But of course, it's been a pain in the ass over the years when people just go out there and take what they want without paying for it. But I think there's a good development. There's a good thing going on with, for instance, I only just mentioned one platform, which is called iTunes. Everybody knows it. Mm-hmm. And you can buy the songs. People buy single songs if they want to have single tracks or the whole entire albums. And I think it's a great development that people again rethink a little bit and buy the music again. And you know, talking about kids again, I have an 11-year-old, and I always say, if you want to have songs, just buy it on iTunes, because you know that you just can't go out there in shops and grab everything you want without paying for it, because there's an industry behind it. There, people have to live from the music, like your daddy. So you better go out there and buy the stuff.
Sure. Now, does it make it, the fact that the music is so out there for the world, does it make it, do you ever consider, I guess, changing what you guys do instead of recording, 10 songs in an album to maybe just doing a song or two and putting them out and then, tour on them for 3 months and then put out maybe another song or two later, or, and maybe going toward the single market, since that's kind of where the business is developing?
Absolutely. So you gave your own answer. People are bands are playing more live, and somehow it changed. Absolutely. It's 30 years ago, bands were touring to promote the album, and now it's vice versa. It's just you bring out an album to promote the tour.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
But again, I just want to repeat, it's a good development back to the legal way of publishing music again, and I hope it's going to be really healthy again. I mean, you always had these problems with when we did the vinyl albums back then, where I was a kid. I remember just copying it to a cassette recorder and listening to it in the car. But at least I bought the album,
right?
And then I gave the cassette to another guy. He copied it again, and so forth. But that was not so like a ping ball system, whatever you want to call it. It was snowball system like it is nowadays. It's just tremendously in with the internet and so forth.
Excellent. Well, Ralf, the brand new album is called Delivering the Black. Where can people find out more about the record and about Primal Fear?
On our Facebook site. Okay. And I don't know the whole address of it, but just search for Primal Fear, and you're gonna find Primal Fear, the band, musician band, and you're gonna also see the tour side, and of course on www.primalfear.de, which is our homepage. It's updated pretty well, and yes, so that's basically the platform which is updated almost every day.
All right, excellent. Well, Ralf, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track and maybe tell us a story about it. So what song would you like us to wrap this one up with from Delivering the Black?
I would like to play Rebel Faction, because it is a neck breaker, and we were sitting here with my neighbor and almost broke our necks when we listened to it on the demo, so I hope nobody breaks their neck.
All right, well, let's keep everybody safe, but let's challenge their necks right now. This is Rebel Faction. It's Primal Fear right here on your Classic Metal Show. Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter-century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?